Thanks for tuning in to the August market review so we can look at the numbers and understand what is exactly going on with our market so that you can make an informed decision. Let's take a look. So, when we look at this graph, you're probably saying, I thought there were a lot of cancellations and things going on here in the market. But even with those cancellations that we experienced since April, active supply have declined 13.6%. So, what does that mean to us? If they've declined, they've canceled and expired May through July, that means we have too few listings to replace them. And you're saying, okay, so if we had that decline, July cancellations were up 64% over last year. Expired listings increased 69%. And the demand for homes, as I'm starting to see with a lot of my listings, and more buyers are coming out, more buyers are coming out. And this was helped by interest rates going from 6.75% to 6.55%. And this has increased our accepted contracts rate by 14% since July the 4th. This is incredible. That's why we're seeing quite a bit of movement lately. So, with that being said, we're also seeing a record high of seller concessions. That means helping with buyer closing costs, rate buy downs. It hit 56% of sales. And so far, the total number of concessions for the month of August was at a record high of 58%. That's huge information for you to know as a buyer as well as a seller. But with all of that being said, active listings are still up 33.9%. Listings under contract are up 5.4%. And look at that, median sales price has kind of held steady at $439,990. But overall sales close is down 5.3%. I also want to emphasize for sellers, please be patient with days on market. With buyers having inventory houses to look at, your house might be in the market longer because the buyer has more choices. So you're looking at overall across the valley at least 48 days. Then when we look at days of supply, that means the number of new listings that will need to that we have and how many days that we could go without another listing. And you're probably wondering, so how many is that? 120 days. We could go 120 days without getting another listing. That's a big number for us to keep in mind. So let's go over and look a little bit more. And we're looking at, this is just the average across the valley. Over the last 12 months, we can see monthly appreciation, average cost per square foot here. We have the average cost per square foot. And let's come down here. We're looking at the appreciation. And this is just overall across the valley. We'll break it down by cities in just a moment. But overall, the annual appreciation is a negative 3.1. And then that's over the monthly average. And over the annual average, we are up 1.5. Just depends on how you're looking at those numbers. And the numbers here are looking at that average cost per square foot. So now let's take another glimpse across the valley. Active listings as of today, September 3rd, compared to the first August 3rd. And we have 26,410 versus 26,928. So we have less compared over August. And come on down here. I won't read you these numbers, but just so you can see, sales per month compared to this time last month are down. Days on market are up. Days on market active are up. But positive, we have sales for the year are up compared to this time last month. And if you want to know more about your city, we can do that. Just let me know and I can send it over to you, or we can have a meeting. Want to just do a glimpse here, and let you see the title of the column so you can see clearly. Annual average cost per square foot. Paradise Valley is up 5.9%, but I want to scroll down and let you see that, as you can see, Eloy is up 8.9% right here as the average cost per square foot. Casa Grande is up 3%. Levine is up 5.4%. Tolleson 3%. Tonopah 4.5%. I'm going to scroll back up here. I just want to get you to see what's going on across the valley. And you can look on the chart and find your city. And you can also see Cave Creek's up 2.5%. Wickenburg is up 2.5% versus Tempe's up 2.7% is cost per square foot over last year versus Wickenburg is negative 2.7% compared to this time last year. And we can come here, and I want you to see this. And this is based on the Crawford Report Market Index. We're looking good across the valley when it comes to the Crawford Report Index. The only two cities that are showing a negative are Tempe and Maricopa. And if you want to dive into that a little more, this trend is just showing the supply continues to fall and demand is rising. Just gives you kind of a little excerpt of what's going on. And that's what our Crawford Report Index gives us. Okay. And my favorite map, because it gives us a great glimpse of what the market looks like. And this is all categories: condos, mobiles, and single family homes, and all zip codes. This can be broken down by zip code, as you see, and we can break it down as far as city and the type of home. But overall, you can see most of the colors are green, which is a balanced market. But when you go down to some of the other places where, like Maricopa, 85138, it is cold. We have 551 active homes and only 143 under contract. But I want to just take out all of the other ones, and we're going to just focus on single family homes for just a moment and let it repopulate. And you can see the colors are just a little bit different. So 85204 is considered hot, 54 active, 36 under contract. But in contrast to Gilbert, 85233, it is balanced. So keep that in mind whether you are a buyer or seller. We need to talk about your neighborhood, not just your city, but we can break it down by neighborhood and see that activity for you so that we can make sure that we have the right strategy in place. Recently, we are seeing more and more people consider condos because of location. And I want you to see there's a different contrast as far as what it looks like. Mesa is cold, 22 active, 6 under contract. We slide over here. Goodyear, we are looking at a balance. We don't have a lot of inventory. Levine, 4 active, 5 under contract. Those are your condos. Coolidge doesn't really have them. Neither does Queen Creek. Chandler has 4 active, 1 under contract, considered cold. Keep this in mind. And let's switch to mobile for just a moment for those of you that are in the mobile home market. As the map populates, you can see it varies once again. We see a lot more blue, colder, little frenzy, 2 and 2, 85202. But keep this in mind when we're looking at mobile homes. As you can see, it's considered barren. 4 listings, none under contract. So when you have questions about real estate and you're wondering, who should I talk to? What questions should I ask? Give me a call. Donna Allman with RE/MAX. I'm here to help you and help you make the right decision, do the research, and have a strategy in place to be successful, whether you're a buyer or seller. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.